here we are then, in the pit lane at Spain, with 33 laps of the IRL Round 1 Spanish Grand Prix coming up. KaW VeniVidiVici on the front row, having taken pole position in the early qualifying session. So he made a good start in the first start, so let's hope there are no connection issues this time and we can have ourselves a good race. Some quality drivers out there, so let's hope they keep it clean and give us some good action. 2 DRS zones on this track, activated after 3 laps, so we may see some overtakes at that time. But let's see who can take advantage of the start. The formation lap first. I'm not used to the formation lap because PSGL we don't have the formation lap on, so kind of gearing up for the start and then it doesn't happen. So I guess it's more relaxing that way. Let's have a quick look, see what tyres people are on. And once again, yeah, the tyres are exactly the same as last time. I think that's probably in their rules to do that. Pick the same tyres. Sheepy will certainly be hoping he gets a similar start. He managed to get up to 11th by the end of the first lap, so it was a storming start from him. Around this fantastic Formula 1 facility. Went there last year. So for general admission, value for money is absolutely fantastic. You can walk around plenty of the track, great views. And the weather is always very good, so that's a bonus. I'm trying to remember the last time there was a wet Spanish race. Obviously 1996, where the great Michael Schumacher had one of his greatest ever drives. That was an extremely wet race, in which he obliterated the field. I'm not sure there were any other wet Spanish races after that. I can't remember any. Someone in the chat may be able to tell me. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to seeing the real Formula 1 back on the track in a few months' time in Australia. The Dems was disqualified, but that's just for the formation lap. He'll just appear on the grid, so nothing to worry about on that front. As the grid takes position once again. Just going to go on board quickly with KaW from the back of his Red Bull as he watches the grid line up once again. Everyone more or less in position. We are set to go for 33 laps of this Spanish Grand Prix. 5 red lights. And away we go. KaW gets a good start again. He's going to be under pressure from the Sauber, but the McLaren has made the better start of the 3 and he's already got past Sauber. Can he challenge for the lead into the corner? No, I think KaW is going to have it, and that's forcing the McLaren wide. Oh, and he runs wide straight away and he's cut the corner. Surely he'll have to give the place back, and he certainly will straight away, arguably. Oh, and he's chipped off a bit of wing and there he goes off the track. So right behind we got a bit of chaos going on as we go back down the order. Some overtakes going on, and the 2 McLarens side by side as we head into turn 5. And he goes for it, launches it down the inside. I think that's possibly Foxy Dude doing that. So let's get that on. So Tamworth right behind KaW as we climb up turn 9, which will be flat as the fuel goes down later on in the race. Heading towards the hairpin for the first time, and the Red Bull takes position. Now, any overtakes going on behind? They got a full tank of fuel, very tricky to break into that turn 10 hairpin. And look at them snaking through. Looks like there's been no major incidents. Perhaps a few cars have lost their parts of their end plates and their wings, but outside of that, not anything major. So, for the first time, KaW heads through, and immediately he's under pressure from TamworthFox. Slightly more straight line speed on the Red Bull. Oh, and they virtually touch, and they've already got quite a big gap to a Dems. Obviously it's not a minute, that's a timing error. That would be ludicrous if he was already a minute behind. But now TamworthFox looking to put under pressure, and Delange looking to put... Oh, and he's gone for a move on O'Dem's McLaren. And Notorious IP pits, I think for a new wing, I assume. Well, onto the medium compound he goes, and look how much pressure TamworthFox is putting on Triple V. And I think at the moment at least, TamworthFox seems to have the better race pace, able to put him under so much pressure. Let's keep on board with the Sauber driver. Can he go for a dive down into turn 10? Oh, lock of the brakes from Triple V. That won't be doing his tyres any good whatsoever. Foxy dude and Delange just dropped back a few places. And I think I just saw KaW chip off part of his front wing, and yes, he has indeed. So that's going to compromise his downforce. So DRS will be enabled, so I'm going to go back to the front because, you know, actually Triple V's got further away. DRS enabled on this lap, and he sets the fastest lap for the time being. Any overtakes happening? Yes, Delange under immense pressure from the Haas driver. He goes defensive for a moment, but has to switch back. So we'll see who's going to be brave on the brakes. And I think, to be fair, Delange, I think, got on the brakes nicely and maintains the place. The switch back from Rossi. Can he go around it? Oh, there's a McLaren spun. And who was that? I think that was... There was a McLaren off the track, unless that was lag or something. Yeah, I think that was lag, actually. Because the Dems... I saw a McLaren, so that must be lag, because they're still there. So Dems under threat from Tranquillity, who takes the position. So I think this is something we'd love to see next season. Mercedes versus McLaren in a Grand Prix. Wasn't possible in 2017, thanks to the engine power parity. Yeah, well, it looks like O'Dems has lost part of his wing, so he must have gone off. Yeah, I mean, look, oh, has he lost his entire... No. You compare the two McLarens and look, most of the end plates are gone, so that's probably orange damage at least. So I think we'll expect O'Dems to peel off in the pits, and Tamworth was really pressuring Triple V, but he's really dropping back now. Let's just see if O'Dems pulls off into the pits. No. Surprisingly, so he's going to try and soldier on. So any close battles then on track. Poor position. Sort of similar gaps, and I think a lot of the drivers will have similar wing setups, so it could make overtaking tricky. So the exit from the final corner will be all the more important, and Rossi takes Delange in the end. Now the Ferrari driver will be under pressure from Speed Queen, who gets a much better turn through turn 3. Can she go late on the brakes into this corner? And she does. Delange will have the inside for the next part of the track into turn 5. And Speed Queen keeps it going. But no, she'll have to try again. So that was good defending from Delange, to be fair to him. Right behind, we've got Apollo. He's got a little bit of a train behind him. Look how close Flyingfrome's Red Bull is behind KaW, who gets a terrible run out turn 9. Even with DRS, I think Frome's going to have an opportunity to put that down at turn 10. Can he squeeze him off? No, they both get equal traction. And he takes it round the outside of the Mercedes driver, so he moves into the points. So a good move from Flyingfrome. The Mercedes driver under more pressure. Now going to be overtaken by Nicky, and KaW picks up a 5-second stop go penalty for an obvious corner cut, but I think he had literally nowhere to go and he pits, so not a good few corners for him. So 1.5 second gap between Triple V and TamworthFox, and then UK-Tranquillity slowly moving towards TamworthFox, and Foxy Red in 4th, his teammate in 5th. Missing part of his wing. Oh, and behind, Rossi is now under attack from Speed Queen, and sorry, I meant Speed Queen attacking Delange. I'm still learning these drivers, I do apologise. And Speed Queen moves past the Ferrari driver this time, up to 7th position, so a very good move from her. And we have yellows in sector 1. Yeah, Notorious has run wide, so I don't think it was anything major. So Tamworth dropped to 2 seconds behind, but now he's got the gap back down. to 1.5 seconds to Triple V. So will this be a case between Delange and Speed Queen where they simply exchange overtakes in the DRS zones? We're about to find out. But now Delange has got a Sauber to worry about right behind him. And KaW TactiicZz has left the session, so that's our first retirement of the race. So Delange getting closer to that Toro Rosso. Speed Queen goes defensive. Who's going to be brave on the brakes? We've seen Delange, some good braking room. Tries to put it around the outside. It's not going to get it there. Oh, a little tag on the back of the Toro Rosso. And that's going to put him under attack from the Sauber. He's on that green strip. Not a lot of grip there. He's going to go to, yeah. He's gone on the grass and he's going to lose probably a couple of places, and he does. And maybe even the Williams will get past. Yes, Chullo takes the position as well. Speaking of the Williams, Sheepy from the back, who's disqualified in qualifying, he's only moved up a place, so to speak. Well, 2 places from the back of the grid, so probably wish that first race hadn't been restarted because he made a really strong start there. Now Rossi up to the back of Odems, who we know has wing damage. And TamworthFox has taken more time out of Triple V. Under a second now, so I'm going to see what's going on between those two. Is the Sauber any closer? Not for the time being. So I think the next battle we're going to see is between Odems and Rossi for 5th position. Round the final corner they go. And Odems goes very defensive immediately because he knows he's going to be under attack from the Haas of Rossi. And look at the speed he's got with DRS. Rossi's going to have to go lay on the brakes and try and put this around the outside. He squeezes him, and Odems, I think, very aggressive defending from Odems, maintains the position for now. With that, downforce not being as strong because of that damaged wing, Odems is going to find it really hard to keep the likes of Rossi behind. So he'll be looking to change that wing later on. You can see several end plates missing. It's not entirely broken, but he's certainly compromised. And this is going to allow the likes of Speed Queen and Delange and Flyingfrome, who Flyingfrome incidentally has moved up to 9th position thanks to KaW's problems earlier. Now, Apollo, we saw him go onto the grass and lose several places, so he's now going to try and come back. Now, let's see if Rossi had a move. Yeah, he's still stuck behind that McLaren. Now, Apollo, losing several places a couple of laps ago. He's going to try and get back one of them. I'm going to go back to Rossi because that is our main on-track battle. Oh, and he's going for a move there. That's not advisable for the chicane. That's not really an overtaking spot. So, once again, Odems goes defensive on the main straight. Lap 8, this IRL Spanish Grand Prix. And Flyingfrome, the first, one of the first of the top 10 to come in for a pit stop. So, likely going for a medium compound. Could see a mixture of 1 and 2 stops here. And Odems really struggling for grip. Oh, and they nearly tagged. I think if that had been F1 2016, they would have both gone off. And Rossi dives down the inside of 4. And will he maintain that position? Yeah, I don't think Odems is going to have any answer to him. And he moves up to 5th. So Rossi making progress. Still less than a second gap, but I think it's relatively comfortable. Ooh, a bit of lag there. Relatively comfortable for, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. He's sort of keeping him just out of DRS range. Now Odems is sort of going to start to tumble down the order because he's now going to be under attack from the very experienced Speed Queen. So I think that McLaren will be really struggling. I think he probably want to get that wing change done soon when he gets his first pit stop, but I can certainly understand him wanting to stay out because I think if he made an early pit stop that would have put him out of contention completely for the points. You can see Odems really struggling with rear grip. Having to take such deeper lines just to get the car around. But he's keeping a decent job of getting ahead of Speed Queen for now, as the grip of the tyres wears off. So in terms of the pit stops so far, we've had Flyingfrome Notorious made pit stops. Delange has pitted for Ferrari. and he's gone to the hard compound, so he's gone for something different, going for a long second stint, maybe even a one stop from there. Hard compound does last a long time, and he's popped out 4.3 seconds from Frome, so Frome getting a bit of an undercut with those medium tyres, unless Delange's got a very poor in-lap. So let's go through the race order at the moment. Triple V leading by nearly 2 seconds to TamworthFox, Tranquillity in third, Foxy Red in fourth, Rossi in fifth, Adems in sixth. Speed Queen sort of dropped back a little bit, maybe doing some tyre saving. Seventh place, Nicky in eighth, Chullo in ninth, and Apollo to move back into the points. Still can't get past Cookie for the time being. And we've got Craig and Mike, two drivers with a wealth of league racing experience, sort of following each other at the moment. And Mike runs it wide. That won't do his tyres good, and that just compromises the next couple of corners as well. So Sheepy pulls into the pit. And we've got a hive activity, and Speed Queen pits as well, and Adem. So this is important. So it's a battle of the pit crews here. Who can get in front of who? And the wing change course of Adem's, and a wing change for Speed Queen as well. So I didn't notice she had damage. I agree, Remco. If you want to leave some comments, that's all good. Maybe I can start a trend here. So Dem's making a wing change Speed Queen as well. I just didn't realise, but she still comes out in front of the Ferrari of Delange, so that's important. So I think some of the leaders will probably be pitting very soon. Maybe not this lap, but a couple of laps after that. So let's see what the Red Bull driver decides to do. He's going to stay out for now. And Tranquillity, Tranquillity cuts across. He made a last minute decision. And yes indeed, Remco, you're right, so familiar names here. UK Tranquillity pits as well. Foxy Red, as what will Rossi do? Let's see what Tamworth goes for. He'll be going towards the end of the pit lane. So TamworthFox pits from second position. He puts on a set of softs. So he's gone for an aggressive strategy, perhaps to try and undercut Veni. He's going to probably fall into some traffic. So where's he going to end up? There's Craig, who may get past him. Tranquillity's pitted for the hard compound, and softs for Foxy Red and mediums for Rossi. So fascinating strategies being employed by some of the drivers. So Veni, of course, hasn't pitted yet. He's got an 18.7 advantage to Nicky, who hasn't pitted, but these two were sort of in the midfield. So they're sort of out of position. So for the drivers like Tamworth, they'll be hoping the guys ahead don't stay up too long, so they don't get caught up, because that strategy that Tamworth's gone for may not work as a result. The Tranquillity is now behind Mike and Craig, who run on mediums from the beginning of the race. So I think Tranquillity, if he's going for the one stop, he'll probably be hoping that. And then he pits from the lead of this race. And he goes late on the brakes and risking a bit of a penalty there, but he didn't get one. And hello to you, Parkway Drive and Remco, once again. So hard compound for Veni. I think that's an easier thing to say than Triple V. Ah, these long gamer tags. So it comes out. So where is Tamworth? Tamworth on the main straight. And there's the Red Bull right there. He's going to be right on top of him. And Tamworth goes late on the brakes and he gets ahead of him. But in terms of strategy, Veni is going to be probably an advantage, but if Tamworth can clear... Oh, and Cookie goes off the track. He just loses it. Out turn 3. So Cookie's out of the race. So that's one less car for Tamworth to get past. So Nicky leads this race for now on very worn soft tyres. So Tamworth needs to clear this car quickly, and that makes their job easier. So that was a dramatic incident for Cookie. And now Tamworth right on the back of Nicky. Oh, and he's hit the back of Nicky. Bit of lag involved possibly, and now, oh dear, he spins the car up. And well, good thing he was ghosting, because he would have caused a massive accident rejoining the track like that. And yeah, Chullo team radio. I do agree. So unfortunately, Tamworth's race has been severely compromised, and that's going to hand all the advantages to Veni. So Nikki, probably no fault of he or she's own, but it's a bit of lag there. Mike pits then after his long 13 lap stint on the mediums, so he's definitely going for a one stop. I think anyone who's gone for the hard compound, it's not the quickest tire, so they'll be looking for a one stop at this point. So what does Veni do? Does he just wait until Nicky gets out the way, given what's happened to the two cars in front of him? And he's probably seen both incidents, so he's probably going to play the waiting game. So down the order, UK-Tranquillity up to 4th, looking good for a podium. Now Foxy Red behind him, and Tamworth has dropped down to 6th. He'll be absolutely fuming about what just transpired there. Rossi in 7th, Flyingfrome putting him under pressure. And now that Odems has that wing fix, he should be able to push himself forward again. So we have 15 runners, 2 retirements at this point. So let's just see the battle for the lead of this race. Surely Nicky's going to be pitting soon. One of only 2 drivers who hasn't pitted yet. I mean, 13 laps on the softs is actually pretty good going. And Nicky peels off. Force India driver gets out of the way, and Veni retakes the lead of this race. And Craig pits as well. So the order will start to reset itself. I wonder if Tamworth got any damage. I don't think he made any actual contact, so it should be okay. With Foxy Red now closing onto the back of Tamworth. The only problem for Tamworth is that in spinning, to recover the spin, he would have added some extra tyre wear to his fresh softs, so that's very unfortunate for him. So 37 seconds between 1st and 15th for the moment, and everybody has now made their first pit stop of the race. So just going to see, Craig actually ended up behind Mike, so Mike got a bit of an undercut from Craig, I believe. I might be wrong on that actually. I think Mike possibly might have to the head before the pit stops. So Veni leads, Tranquillity 2nd, TamworthFox 3rd, Foxy Red in 4th, Rossi 5th, Throne 6th, Odem 7th, Apollo 8th, Speed Queen 9th, and Nicky 10th, making up the top 10. So let's see who's been the real winner so far. So Tranquillity gaining 2 places from his grid position, Rossi and Throne gaining 4 respectively, and Apollo's as well. So they're on for very strong point scores in this first race of the season. So let's have a look then for some on-track action. Throne closing onto the back of Rossi, as is Foxy Red, but Foxy Red, he's dropping back now. So can Rossi defend from Flyingfrome? No, Throne's not really that close either, so not much in the way of slipstream. Hoping there's not. Well, they have got DRS, of course, both of those cars behind the McLaren, so that's going to sort of neutralise them. Craig defending from Sheepy. It should be a very comfortable move for him. Craig will be going to the end on those hard compound tyres. So Sheepy moves up to 12th position. Speed Queen. Let's switch back to the Toro Rosso driver, who's closed in onto the back of Apollo. She's on the soft tyres right now. Who knows where Speed Queen would be if she hadn't had to have that wing change, because she showed very strong pace in the first stint outside of the top 4. Apollo is also around the back of Adem, so we could get a nice little freeway scrap here. Only goes later on the brakes. He's going to try and go around the outside turn, and they tag for a moment. Oh, and the McLaren's ghosting. Is that a disconnect for Adem's? It could well be. So it's one less car for them to worry about. Yeah, Adem's is disconnected. That's unlucky for him. So Apollo moves up to 7th, Speed Queen up to 8th, Nicky up to 9th. And Adem as well. Non-factor unless he rejoins, so that's sad for him. Dead battery on the controller. So McLaren retiring the car because of a lack of ERS. That's a shame. Energy recovery system failure on the controller. I had a similar problem when I was trying to commentate on F1 2016 a few seasons ago. I had to basically jam a controller and hold it in place to keep it going. So Apollo up to 7th. So the closest on-track battle is between Rossi and Flyingfrome, but given the different strategies, we could still see them change positions. Top 2 in a very good position to get the top 2, but the battle for the podium, very open battle for that, I think, given the different strategies in play. So some of those who are going to the end on the hard compound, don't discount them, like Craig and Delange. They may be further behind on track, but they probably don't have the pit again. So I think Adem's #1 wish list from the McLaren team will be a better battery system for his McLaren car next time. So Frome round the final corner, lap 17 of this IRL Spanish Grand Prix. Looks like their straight line speed fairly similar. What about Speed Queen, who's now putting Apollo under pressure? Apollo goes defensive. Speed Queen, oh, a little bit of contact. And Apollo keeps the place for now. Robust defending from Apollo. Runs wide and gets a 3-second time penalty for doing so. Pushing a little bit too hard to keep ahead of the speedy Toro Rosso driver behind him. And that's also allowed Nicky to join in on this. Flyingfrome gets a 3-second penalty for cutting what I think is turn 8. So unusual place to get a penalty there. But it is, there are plenty of areas on the track where you can get penalties. So we're going to stick with this battle for 7th position. Unless I can see... Oh, and Speed Queen having a little look at Apollo. That would have been optimistic. I don't think she was close enough for that. So I think Nicky will be biting his lips for any sort of calamity between the two drivers ahead. As they go through the chicane, and a nice camera angle here. Getting a perfect view of the final corner. So now, can Speed Queen, one of the longest straights on the calendar. And Apollo doesn't go defensive this time, so Speed Queen, think about lunge on the inside. She's got the better tyres at the moment, and she just about holds on to it because she nearly lost the back end as she came up from turn 2. And that allows Nicky to close up, so Apollo drops down to 8th position. And now we'll be under attack from Nicky behind. And now Craig coming back at Sheepy. Sheepy's got better tyres in terms of the medium compound, so this is good stuff from Craig. And Craig takes the position back, so that could be an important move for his race. Mike, it says he's on the sauce, but I swear it said he was on the... Oh, unless he's pitted again, of course. No, he hasn't. I swear Mike, it said hard compound earlier, but hey, glitches in Formula 1 games by Codemasters, that never happens, right? So TamworthFox is now closed within half a second of UK-Tranquillity all of a sudden. They had quite a gap a few laps ago, so Tamworth finding good pace, as you'd expect, of course. We'll have the tyre advantage for a while, but oh, that contact with Nicky is just really compromising, unfortunately. So we're going to have a look at yellows in sector 3. Nothing major apparently, there's no change of position. So Notorious IP still running along. He's made a second pit stop, the first driver to do so. At best he'll be 14th at the moment with Adem's disconnect. I don't know about you, but when F1 2018 comes out, given they've got about 100 different tyre compounds, it's going to be quite tricky to keep an eye on everybody. So I hope they have the same spectator options. So UK-Tranquillity, as you'd expect at this point of the race, doesn't have quite as much grip as the soft tyres behind, so I think Tranquillity might not defend this too hard because he knows that Tamworth will have to pit again in the not too distant future. So down the inside goes TamworthFox, back up to second position. And can he do anything about Veni before he has to pit again? Anyone on the soft tyres right now will almost certainly have to pit again. Unless it was very recently. So Frome still keeping ahead of Frome still unable to get past Rossi. Rossi's about 10.5 seconds behind Foxy Red. So the top 4 sort of comfortably at the moment. Oh, and now, you know, Tranquillity still keeping behind Tamworth. Tamworth will be able to eke out more of a gap. Just won't have the outright traction on those tyres right now. So Apollo dropping further behind Nicky. Speed Queen rather. So let's go on board Nicky to go over turn 9. Apollo runs a little bit wide. Luckily that won't cost him because Nicky wasn't really close enough. Go through this complex of corners. And Foxy Red gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. So Tamworth pits as well. What's he going to go on? Is it another set of soft tyres? No, mediums. So Foxy Red's on a set of mediums as well, but that 5 seconds will be added on at the end of the race, so that could be very costly for him. So where will they end up? Tamworth ends up behind Speed Queen, although Speed Queen will be pitting fairly soon. She's on the soft tyres as well. Oh, a 3-second time penalty for Veni. Now that could change things up at the end. Could come down to who gets the best out of those hard tyres. If Tranquillity can get within less than 3 seconds, he could win this race still. Veni will be kicking himself if he ends up losing this, because that Notorious picks up a 3-second penalty, multiple warnings. He's about to catch up the Ghost car at Ems to take 14th position, and he does. So, important move for Tamworth. He's still got a chance of getting on the podium at least, but he's got to get this done. And Speed Queen. Speed Queen has the inside. Oh, they touch! And a bit of wing flies off, but whose car? The Sauber. Yes, the Sauber's lost part of the left front wing. Oh, Tamworth not had the luck today. He's had the speed. He's been caught up in incidents, although I think it was rather optimistic trying to go around the outside into turn 10. I think he could have just waited to overtake here. I think he would have had that done quite easy, especially Speed Queen was pitting anyway this lap. So Speed Queen, Apollo pits. And now Foxy Red having a little look at Nicky ahead. Flyingfrome very close onto Rossi now. Still unable to pass. Probably getting a bit sick of the sight of that, the rear of that Haas. So lap 22 of this IRL Spanish Grand Prix. See some decent action out there. And we've still got some more tails to come, I would have thought, given that there are still a few drivers out there who will be pitting. I think Mike will be one, so he'll be dropping out the points. So it's looking good for the hard runners. Now, climbing through turn 9. Yellow's in sector 1, and Sheepy's out of the race. We'll see what happened to him in a moment, and down the inside goes Foxy, and he's gone up to 6th position. So a nice move from him, and yeah, he's lost it on the main straight. Wow, that could have been a retirement out of frustration perhaps, but because that's a very unusual place to crash unless you make contact with someone. So Flyingfrome pits and Rossi. Now let's have a look at this, because Flyingfrome will be desperately hoping that his Red Bull team can get him out in time. And he goes onto the softs, so these two are going to be very quick at the end of the race. So where's Rossi? There's the Red Bull. Oh no, he doesn't. Tamworth gets a 3-second penalty. So his frustrating race just gets away. Rossi gets out in front of Flyingfrome. So he'll be probably thinking, oh god, still can't get past his Haas. But they've both got soft compounds now, so maybe they can change it. 3 retirements from the 17 runners who started this race. So the current race order: Veni in first, Tranquillity in second, TamworthFox in third, Foxy Red in fourth, Nicky in fifth, Mike in sixth, Craig in seventh, Delange in eighth, Rossi in ninth, and Flyingfrome in 10th. There's a real different lot of compounds in the top 10, so I think we're going to see some changes of positions, or at least some battles towards the tail end of the top 10. So get your popcorn ready. We could see a bit of action very shortly in the closing laps of this race. Clear weather for the entirety of this race. We're not going to get any rain whatsoever. Session had to be restarted after the first race was aborted due to connection issues. Seems to have been a lot better. A couple of lag incidents we've seen, but nothing too serious. Nicky pits, so that's going to promote the likes of Craig and Delange. So Rossi, with that tyre advantage, is going to try and get past the Ferrari Delange straight away. Delange goes defensive. Rossi should get this move done. Massive tyre advantage. Oh, and a bit of a swerve from the Ferrari. Rossi gets the move done. So he moves up to 6th, and now he's going to chase after the Toro Rosso of Craig, who will be going to the end. Now Delange under attack from Flyingfrome. Will he think about a move? So now Delange went deep. Is there a possibility of move down to turn 5? Yes, there could be. Frome sticks it down the inside, and he'll have the inside for 6, and he should get this move done. And he does. Oh, he puts a wheel on the grass. Don't want to do that. So Rossi and Frome, they'll be on a charge. I mean, those two might... Foxy Red is quite far down the road. He has got those penalties though. I think 5th is probably the best Rossi and Flyingfrome can do at this stage. But Craig and Delange on for a good point score. Speed Queen is rapidly catching them though. Going to sit. Nicky's closing on the back of Apollo. We're going to stick with this because this is the highest position battle at the moment. So Rossi right onto the back of Craig. The Red Bull right behind him. Any mistakes that Rossi makes into the first corner will be pounced upon by Flyingfrome, which I'm sure he'd love to. So Craig goes slightly defensive, and Rossi takes the outside line and brilliantly takes the place. Great overtake from Rossi, and Rossi goes wide though, and it's going to be possibly a double overtake for Flyingfrome, and he does it. Rossi made the mistake that opened the door. He was already getting a good run on Craig, and a brilliant move by Flyingfrome up to 5th. Certainly was a flying moment for him. That's the overtake of the race right there. Just kept his cool. Rossi did not, and now he's stuck behind Craig's Toro Rosso, which has obviously been running for a while, and he's trying to go around the outside of 9. That's more or less impossible. Craig goes defensive again, and now Speed Queen's already caught the 2 hard runners. So I did say we might get some action, and we certainly are. And the Toro Rosso didn't have the grip to keep it going, and Rossi slides in front of Craig, but Frome, he's off like a shot, and Rossi will be kicking himself. He's definitely lost the place, but he was comfortably ahead of Frome, really keeping ahead of him. So now Delange under attack from Speed Queen. So some fantastic midfield action here. DRS on Delange's Ferrari for now, so that probably is his saving grace. And behind we've got Nicky on the soft compound trying to overtake Apollo. Let's go back to Speed Queen. Yeah, Delange goes wide. Now open the door for Speed Queen. The Toro Rosso will stick it down the inside up to 8th position. Now has her teammate to deal with, although can Delange come back? No, I don't think so. And Apollo keep doing a decent job keeping the Nicky behind. Fresh soft tyres after all. Well, Craig is I wonder if Craig tried to get out of the way of the faster teammate, but in doing so he's lost a place to Delange. So that probably was not in the Toro Rosso planning. And Tamworth pits again, so that will promote Foxy Red into the points. Sorry, the podium. That's the right P I was looking for. So Tamworth comes out 6.3 seconds behind. So I wonder why he pitted again. For softs, obviously. To gain back that time, but he's fallen behind Frome as well, and TamworthFox. Tamworth's dropped all the way down to 9th. Out of the points. Oh, I wonder why Tamworth had to pit. It'd be interesting to find out. And look at that. Polo challenged by... Oh no. Oh dear. Two Saubers colliding after Nicky just overtook, and that's that's Apollo's race done and dusted. Dropped right to the back. Mike quietly in 11th place. Bit of lag going on there. That's been a feature of this lobby, unfortunately, at times. Not consistently. When it happens like that, that is not ideal. Craig trying to get back past to Lange. What about Tamworth? Tamworth. Oh, more lag. Oh, he had lag with Nicky earlier. And has hit the back of Nicky again. Will he overtake Nicky through this section corner? And yeah, Tamworth's had enough. Very unfortunate. So, Flyingfrome up to 4th. Rossi in 5th. A good result for those two. Top 3 is pretty much static, although UK-Tranquillity has closed to within less than 3 seconds almost of Veni, so if he gets no penalties he could still win this race. Yeah, I don't know, it could, there have been some issues with PSN in the last 24 hours, Chullo, so it could just be, it may not be anyone's fault. I couldn't say for sure, to be honest. But meanwhile, back to the race. Craig, less than half a second behind Delange. And look at that, Tranquillity, 2.5 seconds now behind. And Nicky's retired as well. So that's our 5th retirement of the race. Adams at this rate might get points without even being here. So I see the battle between Craig and Adams, which is Delange, which is the closest on-track battle right now. Speed Queen is catching Rossi slowly, but probably not enough. Yeah, it's possible. But not everyone's lagging, so it may just be individuals. But again, PSN may have a part to play in that. So, Mike has been quietly going about his business, and he's closing in on Craig and Delange. So Craig probably want to be getting on with it. So at the moment, I believe UK-Tranquillity will be winning this race unless he picks up a penalty. It's less than 3 seconds behind Veni. Flyingfrome, for now at least, seems to have won this battle with Rossi thanks to that superb double overtake we saw a few laps ago. Craig is probably wishing he had a better tyre compound to attack Delange with, but good points on offer here. So Craig going through this sector 3. Delange can't afford any mistakes at this point, given the gap. Otherwise he will be caught. But to his credit, Delange gets a better exit. Lap 30 of this IRL Spanish Grand Prix. See some good action in the midfield. Everyone's pitted. So top 2 seems to be a lock. It's just a question of which order they come in. Foxy Red well behind, but on for a podium. Flyingfrome in a fine 4th, Rossi in 5th, Speed Queen closing up to Rossi. So this might gain another place from penalties. Delange in 7th, Craig in 8th. Mike not closing on those two as quickly as I thought he would, given that he's got the soft compound and he had a late pit stop. And he'll run out of time before he catches him. Polo onto the final championship point. And Notorious, the only person who's made 3 pit stops who's still running just outside the points. So he's got some work to do for the next round. So not really any battles going on except for these two, but they've got the same tyre compound and old worn tyres, so I'm not sure what Craig can do really. But I assume he let his teammate through and Delange just nicked a place. So I think this race is going to have a slightly anticlimactic finish to it. But I think there's been enough here for you to enjoy. There's 11 people watching now, so thank you very much. So we'll just enjoy a bit of a nice helicopter view as we head through Sector 3, Turn 11, Turn 12. Got my corners wrong there. Turn 9 and Turn 10. Now we're in 11 and 12. Oh look, Mike is sort of visibly catching up, but he's going to run out of laps. So let's go back to the front for a moment. Veni has got the gap up to 3 seconds again, just. It's dropped again. Oh, it's going to be so close between those two. Onto the penultimate lap of this IRL Spanish Grand Prix, which has had some incidents, some good racing, some interesting strategies. But the top two have certainly got it right with their one-stop strategy. Both started in the top 10, took their soft tyres along and then a long stint on the hard compound. And that will be enough for them. I don't remember seeing Tranquillity getting any penalties, so I think Veni will not finish in the lead unless he gets a gap over 3 seconds again. Let's see, Rossi, has he managed to get any further? Yeah, well, if anyone has Battlefront, I'd love to do a party and do a live stream with that. That'd be a lot of fun. Especially if we get like 8 people and have do heroes versus villains just among the subscribers. That'd be really good fun. So, final lap of this race then. Veni heading through Sector 2 for the last time, climbing up towards Turn 9 with the grandstands on the left hand side. I think they've had decent value for money in the race. How they would react to lag in real life, I'm not sure. It'd be quite a weird thing to see, I'm sure. 3.5 second gap, so Veni pushing extremely hard in the final lap as he has to, and that could seal him the victory. Pole position he got. So then, through the chicane for the last time, and then on to turn 15 to blast away, adjusting the brake balance. And VeniVidiVici has won the Spanish Grand Prix in IRL. Big congratulations to him. Tranquillity takes a superb second after starting 4th on the grid. It'll be some time before we see who finishes 3rd, which will be Foxy Red, unless he does something spectacular on the start-finish line. And the McLaren driver finishes 3rd position, a great podium for him. And then Flyingfrome. And whoa, Speed Queen has caught up another lap, and Rossi, he might still lose place in penalties. So Flyingfrome rounds the final corner and will take 4th position, at least on paper. Rossi crosses the line, and Speed Queen, with less penalties, takes them both for 4th place. Superb from Speed Queen. Rossi and Flyingfrome drop down as a result of that. Delange takes 7th, Craig in 8th, Mike in 9th, and Apollo should take the final points playing position. And that is your final finisher. So here's our podium then. A superb drive from Veni, good performances from Tranquillity and Foxy. And that is our podium for this IRL Spanish Grand Prix. Hope you've enjoyed. I think we've seen some interesting stuff up there today around Circuit de Catalunya. And there's your final result. Veni in first, UK-Tranquillity in second, Foxy Red in third, Speed Queen in fourth, very good performance from her in the end. Rossi in fifth, Flyingfrome in sixth, those penalties costing him. Delange in seventh, Craig in eighth, Mike in ninth, and Apollo in 10th for the final championship point. So the bottom three, 8th, 9th and 10th, coming from outside the top 10 to get solid points today. So we're very happy with that. And then the rest all retirements. And actually Notorious IP did finish in the end in 11th, so good effort sticking around after the problems on the first lap he had. So I hope everyone enjoyed this race, and we'll see you for the next stream, whatever that may be. So thanks for watching.